Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Dialogues, the YouTube channel where we help you navigate the tricky waters of the English language. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mark. It is great to be back in the studio with you, Anna. Today, we have a topic that, I have to be honest, is not exactly fun, but it is absolutely essential.
That's right, Mark. Today, we're talking about bad news, specifically how to deliver it, how to share it, and how to receive it without making the situation worse.
Exactly. Whether you're a manager who has to fire an employee, a friend who has to cancel dinner plans, or a doctor giving a diagnosis, the language you use changes everything. It's about being tactful and empathetic.
Tactful. That is a great B2 word to start with. To be tactful means to have sensitivity in dealing with others or difficult issues. So, Mark, are you good at giving bad news?
Absolutely not. I am terrible at it. I tend to beat around the bush.
Beat around the bush. That's a classic idiom. It means avoiding the main topic because it is uncomfortable. Today, we're going to teach our listeners how to stop beating around the bush while still being kind.
Sounds like a plan. Let's dive in.
So, Mark, before we get into the specific phrases, we need to talk about why this is so difficult. Why can't we just be direct? Why can't we just say, the project failed, or I broke your phone?
Well, if you said that to me, my brain would probably freeze. It's a shock to the system.
Exactly. Psychologically, when humans hear sudden bad news, we can go into a fight or flight mode. We get defensive, or we stop listening.
So the language we use in English is designed to prevent that shock.
Precisely. We need to give the listener a few seconds to brace themselves. To brace means to prepare for an impact, like when you're on a plane and the pilot says, brace for landing.
I see. So the warning shot is a verbal signal that says, hey, stop what you are doing, focus, and get ready for something negative.
You've got it. It's like a yellow light before the red one.
Okay, so let's look at the most common yellow light phrases. The classic one is, of course, I'm afraid.
Yes, I'm afraid I have some bad news. Or simply, I'm afraid we can't help you.
Now, Anna, a lot of my students ask me, why are you afraid? Are you scared of me?
That is a great point. Learners often find this confusing. In this context, I'm afraid has nothing to do with fear. It is just a polite way of saying, I am sorry to tell you this fact. It is a softener.
It sounds much gentler than no. For example, I'm afraid that table is reserved sounds much better than you can't sit there.
Exactly. Now, what if the news is really serious? I'm afraid might be too weak.
In that case, you need something stronger. You might use, please sit down.
That is a physical warning shot. It tells the person you will need support for this. Or you might say, I don't know how to tell you this, but...
That's a good one. It shows vulnerability. It shows that you're struggling to find the words. It makes you seem more human and less like a robot delivering bad data.
Another very common one in business is, I regret to inform you that...
That sounds very stiff and formal to me, like a rejection letter from a university.
It is. You wouldn't use that with a friend. You would use that in a formal email or a public announcement. For a friend, you might say, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but...
The bearer of bad news. That refers to the person carrying the message. There's an old saying, don't shoot the messenger.
Right. It means, don't get angry at me just because I'm the one telling you.
There's one more aspect to the warning shot that we should mention, Anna. It's not just words, is it? It's tone.
Oh, absolutely. You cannot say a warning shot with a happy voice. Imagine if I said, hey, Mark, I'm afraid I crashed your car.
Yeah, that would be incredibly confusing and actually quite rude. It would seem like a joke.
So you need to use a somber tone. Somber means serious and slightly sad. Your voice should go down at the end of the sentence, not up.
And pauses are important too. I have some bad news. Pause. The contract was canceled.
That pause is crucial. It gives the listener that split second to process the warning before the actual hit comes.
So to recap the warning shot strategy, choose a phrase that matches the seriousness of the situation. Use a serious, lower tone of voice. Add a small pause to let them prepare.
Perfect summary. If you do those three things, you are already handling the situation better than 90% of people.
Let's shift gears and talk about the workplace. This is where high-level English is crucial. If you are blunt, meaning too direct and rude, you can damage your professional reputation.
Definitely. Let's look at three scenarios: missing a deadline, rejecting a proposal, and the hardest one, firing someone.
Oof. Okay, let's start with the easy one, missing a deadline.
Imagine you promised a report by Friday, but you can't finish it. You shouldn't just say, I won't finish.
No, you need to explain the circumstance and offer a solution. You might say, unfortunately, due to unforeseen delays, I won't be able to submit the report by Friday.
Unforeseen delays. That is a great phrase. It means delays you could not predict, and then you follow up with a solution. However, I can have it on your desk by Monday morning.
Perfect. You gave the bad news, but you also gave a solution. Now, what about rejecting a proposal?
This happens all the time. Someone sends you an idea and you hate it. You can't say, this is a terrible idea.
You could, but you wouldn't have many friends left at work. You should use the sandwich method.
Ah, the sandwich method. Good news, bad news, good news?
Exactly. You start with a positive. Thank you for all your hard work on this proposal. It's very detailed. That's the top bun.
Then the meat, the bad news. However, we feel it doesn't quite align with our current strategy.
Doesn't align with. That is a wonderful B2 euphemism for we don't want it.
And finally, the bottom bun, closing on a positive note. We would love to see other ideas from you in the future, though.
It softens the rejection. It makes the person feel valued, even though the answer is no.
Now, the big one, letting someone go.
Well, in English, we rarely say, you are fired, unless you're in a movie or very angry. We use euphemisms.
We use terms like let you go, terminate your contract, or lay off.
Lay off usually means the company has no money, whereas fire means the employee did something wrong.
So, a manager might say, I'm afraid I have some difficult news. Due to budget cuts, we're going to have to let you go.
It's short, clear, but professional, and usually followed by, we appreciate your service. Okay, let's leave the office and go to the pub or the coffee shop. Let's talk about our personal lives.
This is actually where a lot of English learners struggle. In business, there are rules. In friendship, it's all about feelings. If you're too direct with a friend, they won't fire you, but they might stop calling you.
Exactly. So let's look at 3 common bad news scenarios in social life: declining an invitation, canceling plans, and the very difficult relationship talk.
Let's start with declining an invitation. Someone invites you to a wedding, a party, or just dinner, and you don't want to go, or you can't go.
The worst thing you can say is just no, or I don't want to.
That is incredibly rude. You need to use the structure gratitude, rejection, reason.
Okay, give us an example.
Let's say you invited me to your birthday party, but I'm busy. I would say, Mark, thank you so much for the invite. I would love to come, but I already have plans that night.
That was perfect. I would love to, but is the magic phrase. It softens the rejection.
Another useful phrase is, I think I'm double booked.
Double booked, that's a great B2 word. It means you accidentally made 2 plans for the same time. It sounds like a mistake, not a choice, so it's less hurtful.
Now, what about canceling plans you have already made? This is where people get annoyed.
We mentioned something has come up earlier. That is the gold standard. But if it's a close friend, you need to offer to fix it.
Right. You need to use the phrase, how can I make it up to you?
To make it up to someone means to do something good to balance out the bad thing you did.
Example, I'm so sorry I have to cancel dinner. I feel terrible. Let me make it up to you. Dinner is on me next week.
Dinner is on me means I will pay for it. That is a very good way to apologize.
Now, let's talk about a very specific type of bad news. Admitting you forgot something, like a birthday or an anniversary.
Oh, the horror. You wake up and realize you missed your best friend's birthday yesterday. You can't just ignore it.
You need to own it. A great idiom here is, it slipped my mind.
It slipped my mind means I didn't forget you, I just temporarily lost the memory of the date.
So you say, I am so mortified. Your birthday completely slipped my mind. Happy belated birthday.
Mortified is a strong word. It means extremely embarrassed. It shows you care.
Okay, Mark, we have to talk about the heavy stuff now, relationships and breakups.
Well, in the modern dating world, there's a terrible trend called ghosting.
Ghosting is when you stop replying to messages and just disappear like a ghost. Please, listeners, don't do this. It is cowardly.
We want you to teach you how to let someone down gently.
To let someone down gently means to reject them without crushing their confidence.
If you've been on a few dates but you don't feel a connection, don't just stop texting. Send a message.
You can say, I've really enjoyed getting to know you, but I don't feel a romantic connection.
That is honest but kind. Or, I think we're looking for different things right now.
And if it's a serious relationship, a long-term one, you cannot do this over text.
No, you have to do it face to face, and we often use the warning shot we learned earlier. We need to talk.
When you're breaking up, stick to I statements. Don't say, you're annoying. Say, I feel we have grown apart.
We have grown apart. That is a sad but very common phrase. It means we are different people now than we were when we started.
So, whether it's a missed party or a broken heart, the rule is the same. Respect the other person.
And be clear, false hope is worse than bad news. Don't say, maybe next time, if you never want to see them again.
Exactly. That's stringing someone along, and it's not nice. We have covered work and friends, but now we need to lower our voices a little. We need to talk about the most difficult phone calls you will ever make: medical emergencies and accidents.
This is where the language barrier can be scary. If you are in a foreign country and something happens, you need to be clear, but you also need to be incredibly sensitive.
Let's start with the setup. If you are calling someone to tell them their family member is in the hospital, you simply cannot just blurting it out.
Blurting it out means saying it suddenly without thinking. Never do that. You need to check the listener's environment first.
You should ask, are you somewhere private, or are you sitting down?
If someone asks me, are you sitting down, my stomach instantly drops. I know something big is coming.
Once they are ready, you deliver the facts. But in English, we often use specific medical states to describe how bad it is.
Right. If it is bad but they will survive, we say they are in stable condition.
Stable is a great word. It means not changing, safe for now. But if it is dangerous, we say they are in critical condition.
And if it is very uncertain, if we don't know if they will survive, there is a very specific idiom we use. It is touch and go.
Touch and go. That means the situation is very delicate and could change at any moment.
Example, the surgery went well, but the next 24 hours are touch and go.
Now, what if you don't have all the answers? People will ask you questions you can't answer. You shouldn't guess.
You should use phrases like, they are still running tests, or we are waiting for the doctor's update. This manages the anxiety without giving false hope.
Okay, Mark, we have to address the hardest part: telling someone that a loved one has died.
Mark, in English, purely out of respect, we rarely use the words died or dead when breaking the news to family. It sounds too harsh, too final.
Instead, we use euphemisms. A euphemism is a polite word used to replace a harsh word.
The most common one is passed away.
Yes, I'm so sorry to tell you, but your grandmother passed away last night. It sounds peaceful.
Or simply, she didn't make it.
She didn't make it. That implies there was a struggle or a surgery and it wasn't successful.
There is another side to medical news, Hannah. What if you're the one having the emergency and you need to tell your boss you aren't coming to work?
This is important. In many English-speaking cultures, you do not need to give your boss the gory details. You don't need to describe your surgery or your illness.
You can simply use the phrase, I have a family emergency.
That is a magic phrase. Family emergency covers everything, from a car accident to a sick child. It tells your boss, it is serious, I cannot work, and it is private.
Example, hi John, I'm afraid I won't be in today. I have a family emergency that I need to attend to.
Most professional bosses will just say, I hope everything is okay, and stop asking questions.
So, to summarize this heavy section, check the environment. Are you sitting down? Use status words, stable, critical, or touch and go. Use soft language for death, passed away. Protect your privacy at work, family emergency.
It's vocabulary we hope you never have to use, but it is vital to know it just in case.
Reacting to bad news is actually an art form. It's just as important as giving the news. If someone pours their heart out to you and you just say, "Oh, okay," you might ruin the friendship.
Exactly. The listener has a job. Your job is to validate their feelings.
Validate. That is a key word. It means to confirm that their feelings are real and acceptable. You aren't trying to fix the problem. You're just acknowledging the pain.
So let's start with the basics. The most universal phrase in English is, "I'm so sorry to hear that."
It works for everything. Lose a job, "I'm so sorry to hear that." Break a leg, "I'm so sorry to hear that." It's the safest option.
But if the news is shocking or frustrating, like someone stole your wallet, you need to match their energy. You can't be calm if they're angry.
Right. You might say, "That is awful," or "Are you kidding me? That's terrible."
Or for logistical nightmares, like missing a flight or losing luggage, we often say, "What a nightmare," or "What a hassle."
Now, Anna, we need to talk about a big mistake that many learners and native speakers make. It's called toxic positivity.
Oh, this is so important. Toxic positivity is when you try to force someone to be happy when they're sad. You use cliches or platitudes.
A platitude is a boring statement that doesn't really mean anything. For example, if I get fired, do not say, "Everything happens for a reason."
Ugh, I hate that phrase. Or, "Look on the bright side, at least you have your health."
When you say "at least," you're minimizing their pain. You're telling them they shouldn't be sad.
Instead of trying to fix it or find the bright side, just admit that the situation is bad. Say, "That sounds incredibly tough," or "I can see why you're so upset."
Sometimes the best response is just to let them talk. We call this letting them vent.
To vent, like a vent in a wall that lets steam escape. To vent means to let all your negative emotions out by talking.
So you can ask, "Do you want to talk about it?" Or, "I'm here if you need to vent."
And if the news is tragic, like a death or a serious illness, we use formal language. "Please accept my condolences," or "I am deeply sorry for your loss."
And never say, "I know how you feel," unless you've been through the exact same thing. It can sound arrogant. Instead, say, "I can't imagine what you were going through."
That is beautiful. It validates that their pain is unique.
Finally, there's the follow-up. Responding to bad news isn't a one-time thing.
Right. If your friend tells you bad news on Tuesday, send them a message on Friday.
A great phrase for this is, "How are you holding up?"
Holding up. That's a phrasal verb, meaning surviving or coping in a difficult situation.
"Hey, just checking in. How are you holding up?" It shows you haven't forgotten about them.
And if you want to offer help, be specific. Don't just say, "Call me if you need anything," because people rarely call. Instead, say, "Can I bring you some dinner tonight?" Or, "Do you need a ride to the mechanic?"
Specific offers are much helpful than general ones.
So, the summary for receiving bad news: validate, don't fix; avoid "at least" phrases; let them vent; check in later.
If you do these things, you will be a very supportive friend.
Okay, we are entering the final stretch of the podcast, and this is the section for our advanced learners. We are going to talk about nuance.
Nuance is a beautiful word. It refers to the subtle differences in meaning, sound, or expression. You can say the right words, but if your nuance is off, you will sound rude.
There is a famous theory in psychology that says words are only 7% of communication. The rest is tone in body language.
Exactly. So let's look at 3 advanced techniques: the pregnant pause, hedging, and intonation.
Let's start with silence, the pregnant pause.
This sounds funny, but a pregnant pause is a silence that is full of meaning. When you deliver bad news, you must stop talking.
This is so hard for me. When I get nervous, I talk faster, I ramble.
To ramble means to talk continuously in a confused way. Don't ramble. If you say, I have to fire you, and then you keep talking about the weather or the budget, you are overwhelming the listener.
So the rule is, deliver the news, then zip it.
Zip it. Yes, say the sentence and then count to 5 in your head. Give them space to process the shock.
Okay, technique number 2, hedging.
Hedging is essential for B2 and C1 English. It means using language to make a statement less forceful or absolute. It protects you and the listener.
Instead of saying, this is a mistake, which is very direct, you hedge it.
You might say, it seems there might be a slight misunderstanding.
It seems, might be, slight. Those are all hedges. They make the sentence softer.
Let's practice. Mark, tell me my idea is bad, but use hedging.
Okay, blunt version. Anna, that idea is expensive. Hedged version. Anna, that idea appears to be a little bit over our budget.
Much better. You used appears to be and a little bit. It doesn't feel like an attack.
Another great hedge is not entirely instead of no.
Yes. Are you happy with the report? I'm not entirely convinced by the conclusion. It is a polite way of saying, I hate the conclusion.
Finally, technique number 3, intonation, the music of your voice.
In English, intonation changes meaning. If your voice goes up at the end, it sounds like a question or uncertainty. If it goes down, it sounds serious and final.
If I say, I'm sorry, with my voice going up, that means I didn't hear you or I am confused.
But if you say, I'm sorry, with your voice going down, that is an apology.
When giving bad news, keep your pitch low and your intonation falling.
And be careful with stress. If you stress the wrong word, you sound sarcastic.
Oh, this is dangerous. If you say, I am sorry, it sounds sincere. But if you say, I am sorry, it implies, I'm sorry, but he isn't.
Or if you say, I am so sorry, with a long, dragged-out so, it can sound fake, like a teenager being sarcastic.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, don't do that. Keep it short, sincere, and flat.
One last tip on nuance: face control.
Yes, if you are delivering bad news face-to-face, you cannot smile.
It sounds obvious, but when people are nervous, they often nervous smile or giggle.
If you tell me, I crashed your car while smiling, I will think you're a psychopath.
You need to match your face to the news. Furrow your brow. Look concerned.
Furrow your brow, that means to wrinkle your forehead to show worry.
So to recap the advanced section, embrace the silence, don't ramble, use hedges. It seems, a little, not entirely.
Watch your pitch, falling intonation for seriousness.
Mastering these small things is what makes you sound like a native speaker, not just a textbook reader.
We have spent a lot of time talking about speaking, but we live in the digital age. A lot of bad news is delivered via email.
That's right, and writing bad news is actually harder than speaking.
Why do you think that?
Because in an email, the person cannot see your face. They cannot hear your soft, empathetic tone. They only see cold, hard text. So the risk of misunderstanding is much higher.
Very true. If I write, we need to talk in an email, it looks aggressive. So let's break down the perfect bad news email. It starts before you even write the message. It starts with the subject line.
The subject line is tricky. If you write bad news in all capital letters, you will give the person a heart attack.
But you also can't lie. You can't write great news and then fire them inside the email. That is cruel.
You need to be neutral and professional. Use words like update, status, or important information.
For example, update regarding the Q4 budget, or application status, senior developer role.
Exactly. It tells them what the email is about without revealing the emotion immediately.
Now, once they open the email, you need a structure. I like the 4-point structure.
Go ahead, teach us.
1. The buffer. Start with something neutral or positive.
2. The news. State the bad news clearly.
3. The reason. Explain why, briefly.
And 4. The pivot. Move to the future or a solution.
Let's try to build an email together using this structure. Let's say we're a company telling a customer that their delivery is delayed.
Okay, step 1, the buffer. Dear customer, thank you for your recent order of the X2000 laptop.
Nice, polite, and standard. Step 2, the news. You need to use a softener here.
Unfortunately, we are writing to inform you that the shipment has been delayed.
Step 3, the reason. Don't give too many excuses, just the facts.
This is due to unexpected supply chain disruptions in the region.
And finally, step 4, the pivot. Give them a solution.
We expect to ship your item on the 25th. If you prefer, we can offer a full refund immediately.
That is a perfect bad news email. It's polite, but it doesn't hide the truth.
Now, Mark, we mentioned passive voice briefly earlier, but we need to explain it properly for written English.
Yes, in business writing, active voice can sound like an accusation. Active, you didn't pay the invoice.
Ouch, that sounds like I'm a criminal.
Passive, the invoice has not been paid.
That sounds like a statement of fact. It removes the you. It feels much less aggressive.
Another example, active, you made a mistake in the report. Passive, an error was found in the report.
Mistakes were made. That's the classic politician's phrase. But in business, it saves relationships. It focuses on the problem, not the person.
Finally, let's talk about the sign-off. How do you end the email?
Please do not use cheers.
You are fired. Cheers, Mark. Yeah, that is terrible. Cheers is too happy and informal.
Avoid sincerely if you can. It's a bit old-fashioned. Stick to regards, best regards, or if you want to be softer, best wishes.
And if the news was really heavy, like a death or a serious failure, you can end with sympathy or respectfully.
Respectfully is a very powerful sign-off. It shows that even though the news is bad, you still respect the person.
So the golden rule for emails, read it out loud before you press send.
Yes, if it sounds harsh when you say it, it will sound 10 times harsher when they read it.
Wow, we have covered a lot today, from the warning shot to the sandwich method to taking a rain check.
Let's do a quick recap of the top 5 vocabulary words from this episode.
1. Tactful, being sensitive and polite.
2. To soften the blow, to make bad news easier to hear.
3. Unforeseen, something you didn't predict.
4. To take a rain check, to reschedule plans.
5. Condolences, sympathy for someone's loss.
And remember, the goal isn't to avoid bad news. That's impossible. The goal is to handle it with grace and maturity.
If you can deliver bad news well, people will trust you more. They will respect your honesty and your empathy.
Well said, Mark. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Daily English Dialogues.
We hope you found this helpful. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out.
Next step for you, practice this. Think of a time you had to give bad news recently. How would you say it differently using the phrases we learned today? Write your version in the comments below. We love reading them.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Take care and see you next time.
Bye.